Most seasons as teammate of CC Sabathia. That would be Brett Gardner overall with 11 seasons, but you see a lot of guys that played 8 seasons with him. David Robertson. Austin Romine will be part of a story we'll tell later in this segment. But you also see singled out there Dellin, Betances. And we're pleased to be joined now by Dellin Betances. As we welcome him to the studio, we're still reminded that he's 6 foot 8 inches tall. You have not shrunk an inch since you played. Hey, let me take you back to the time you were with CC Sabathia. With him a long time. This day is about an individual, him getting into the Hall of Fame, but it must mean so much to you having been in the trenches with him, right?
Yeah, I mean, I spoke to him last night. I told him I'm super anxious. I feel like, you know, him getting that call is going to be super rewarding for him and his family. And just knowing him, he was always a big brother to me. So just to be able to see him get inducted is going to be super, something I always remember.
Dellin, there are so many things we can talk about with CC. We can talk about the 250-plus wins, the 3,000-plus strikeouts, but you were behind the scenes with him. You got to see that competitiveness, that ferociousness. What was CC like as a teammate and as a guy who was getting ready to play at such a high level?
I mean, for me, CC was ultimate competitor. I mean, a guy that would play through anything, right? As you see, his last pitch was he couldn't go anymore, right? But I remember times like in 2014, we were in Milwaukee. A doctor just came to him, said he needed a fracture surgery at that time, and I think that probably would have taken him out a couple years. And next thing you know, he did a lighter procedure, and he was able to pitch 4 or 5 more years. But I remember sometimes in a clubhouse where he had to you know, take some fluid out of his knees just to pitch the game, right? And he would go out there and, you know, he did whatever it took for the team to win. And, you know, he just showed all the young guys what it is to be a true competitor and how much he valued winning.
That competition, Dellin, led to him to put up some incredible numbers. But beyond the numbers, take us inside the guy that you would sit next to. For example, you have told a story about your very first appearance in the major leagues that did not go so great, right? But he was right there by your side afterwards.
Yeah, definitely don't want to remember that too much. But I remember 2011, I pitched against Tampa Bay. And first pitch that I threw was a strike, but I don't think I threw too many after that. But, you know, CC was the first guy to come in the locker room and kind of console me there, just to, you know, keep my head up as the first time out there. And he also, after the game, I received like a long text message and shortly a phone call after that. And for him to do that, you know, obviously he's already had 10 years. He didn't have to do that at that moment, but that was just the guy he was. He tried to help the rookies as much as he can and make you feel comfortable. Like, that was the biggest thing. He wanted you to come in, feel comfortable, so you can help the team win.
So if there was rookie hazing going on, maybe he would kind of quell that a little bit too?
Yeah, there was no rookie hazing with CC there. I mean, he made sure guys were protected. He made sure nobody kind of messed with me. I remember he put me in a locker in between him and Jeter. So some of the rookies probably were definitely didn't like that too much. But you know, I was fortunate enough. He kind of put me under his wing, and he helped me a lot tremendously.
That's pretty good clubhouse real estate, by the way, to be placed right between CC and Jeter. But on the days where CC pitched, I know managers and pitching coaches always say, I have confidence in everybody I give the baseball to. But when CC had the baseball and it was a big game, what was the feeling like in the clubhouse, the dugout, and the bullpen when you knew you had him on the mound?
There was a sense of calm. Every time he took the mound, big game, you know he was going to deliver. Regardless what he was going through, he made sure he was going to give us a chance. And you know, as a bullpen guy, you always loved that. You always loved the guy that no matter the situations, he was going to give you a chance to win that ball game. And that's what he did every time he took the ball.
I think players like him are really rare in that really good guys off the field, so friendly, probably around the game of baseball, but you know that once he got between the lines and on that mound, it was a different story. I think of Mariano Rivera, right? Nicest guy off the field, but you're about to see him murder somebody at his back when he goes to the plate with that cutter, right? CC seemed to be that way. Is he a guy that on game day you could approach, or you just kind of like let him do his thing?
He was actually very approachable. Really? That was strange. You know, a lot of starters you don't want to bother, but CC wanted to talk to you. I feel like that kind of calmed him down. But yeah, in between those lines, probably no bigger competitor than him. I mean, we got into a lot of brawls, I felt like, with him over the years. But he always wanted to win. He wanted to compete. He didn't care who he was pitching against. He was going to make sure he dominated you. But off the field, you know, biggest teddy bear. So, you know, he's you know, one of a kind and probably one of the better teammates I've had.